Slags. Now, slags, I think, are something we I don't know, enjoy. I'm not sure how we feel about slags in general.
Well, now that I'm a dad, I'm totally not in favor of them.
You're not in favor of slags.
When I was a single man, I was slightly less hardline on the issue.
So slags are a breed of British women who are, something. I don't think they can be cured. It's just the way they are right now. It's a phase. And I thought we'd talk about them and how they need to be left alone by some members of the world, I think.
Oh, really?
And so we'll get this up. And this is the tweet that went viral and sparked a lot of response.
I love this. How did this happen to the British Empire? It's like, okay.
What? And we're looking at footage of women who are dressed, I don't know, slightly slutty, I guess, going out.
Revealingly?
Yeah, I don't know what the right term is. But they're going to Manchester on a girls' nights out, a lot of them, to pick up men and have sex.
I guess.
I don't know what else they're doing.
Yeah.
Getting drunk for no reason. I mean, but then why'd you wear revealing clothing?
Yeah, exactly. So. It's going out for attention.
I love that. I love how everyone has to deny it. It's like, I'm going out for a drink.
Oh, yeah, dressed like that, are you?
Yeah, but even when you're a man and you're in your 20s, it's like, yes, I want to go to the nightclub. No, you don't. No, it's just like, if I find a woman, that'll be great.
Yeah.
That's really...
I mean, that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, it's the same for women. There you are. But this went viral because, of course, how could this happen to the British Empire? Women of old did not go out and find men.
Which is true.
Especially not in this way.
Yeah.
They went and said, I don't know.
It used to be a proper empire, Callum.
What was the nightlife of the 1800s? There's a lot of prostitution back in the day.
Sure. Prostitution has presumably always been with us.
No, but I mean, there was a lot in the Jack the Ripper era.
Yeah, there was.
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe there were more slags, but there were
at least the slags were kind of siloed into a particular area of culture.
Whereas the mothers and so forth were at least wearing their proper clothes.
Yeah.
And I think this is what really sparked all this, because the conversation is about clothing, which, it's kind of weird from political male Twitter to be sitting there and being
how did this happen to the British Empire? Such a funny way of framing it.
Billions must die. It's so
the empire has fallen.
It's never been more over.
Hi folks, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to announce that we have a new line of merch in our merch store. The merch store was kind of empty for a while, and so I thought, right, okay, what do I actually want on shirts? And so I just went through some of the most epic and true things that I think that historical people have said, and John managed to make an amazing set of merch out of it. And we will have extra things coming in the store, such as posters for these to go on. Thanks for everything, folks. Now back to the video.
And there are some who jumped on this. I mean, Pearl, for example, is a guilty pleasure of mine. I do enjoy her statements. She says here, I have been telling you guys, women are no different here. So in the United States, they have slags.
Oh, I believe it.
Called them something different. The other responses were quite funny. I mean, one of them, at least the main one I saw from... I'm not sure what to call them, but here we are. There's just
I like that we have to develop new language to explain the things that are around us now.
What do you mean exactly?
We don't have a word for this thing that has happened.
What, slags on the town?
Well, no, whatever you're about to introduce.
Oh, just this guy. I mean, I'm not really sure. There's this, he's representative, I think, of a lot of people, at least their response. And I can't tell if it comes from a political point of view. I think it's more like, I don't know, growing up in the modern era. That they think this is fine. This is great.
Yeah.
I was like,
this is normal.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is totally normal now. But that doesn't mean there wasn't a change. And this isn't something that happens all throughout the world.
Yeah.
It's a very unique normality of British life that you go out on the night and you find slags. And so there it is. And the thing that made everyone more interested was, who the hell is filming this? Because I think that was a good question.
Actually, yeah.
You look at this, it's like, dude.
Slag watch.
I wish I thought of that for the title now. Ah, damn. But
you can always change the title.
There's I've done photography where you have to film people out doing stuff.
Yeah.
And to be honest, as someone filming strangers, it's not fun.
It's weird.
Yeah, you feel a bit like a creep even filming a protest.
Yeah.
Because you're zooming in on a single individual.
A protest is fine because, they're there to get attention. That makes,
Sure, but my point is that even there's
randos wandering around the street. That's weird.
But even doing a protest, there's a small element of social embarrassment.
Oh, I don't find that.
I get there's like a little voice in the back of your head. It's tiny, but I imagine when you're filming...
I mean, you literally came out with a sign. You must want people to look at you.
Obviously. Like, you rationalize in your head, you're like, that's obviously ridiculous. But when you are filming random slags just trying to find a man, Yeah, that is kind of weird. I feel like the voice should be louder. And it turns out, apparently, it's a Chinese man who has been collecting all of these. And this is his TikTok. And as you can see, almost 400K followers and a bug load of videos.
29 million for the one in Stockholm.
Have you seen the British fans versus Swedish fans at a football game? Your what is it? They start chanting.
Oh, I have seen
your shit, but your birds are fit. Your shit. Yeah, and then the Swedes just start chanting "Go home to your ugly wives," and it's just like, all right, yeah, no, my brother was. Anyway, you can see here there's a lot of British videos, Stockholm, whatever, of just women out and about, and the various photographers doing that. The reason I say it's a Chinaman is because like he didn't always do Western stuff. He mostly did like Shenzhen or whatever else, places in China, and it was the same thing but Chinese slags.
Turns out that the slag is a kind of platonic universal.
Something you will always find. And that is really weird. Like, why is he doing this? Who's staring at these things? Because I'll be honest, like, I wouldn't waste my time watching this. Like, if it's for the sexual appeal, you just go and watch porn.
It's not about the sex appeal, is it? It's about a kind of cultural moment. Like framing like this is something that happens. This says more about us than it does about anything else.
Drunk women look silly.
Yeah, but it's also like this is what our culture is.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of pitiful for everyone involved. Like when you get drunk and end up as a mess.
Oh yeah, it's disgraceful, but
so
like that's the point, isn't it? Like this is something that we tolerate normally.
But there's a judgment on this in general, which I found more interesting from like the moral judgy kind of right wing.
Yeah.
Which you see here is like, oh, it's a soulless life, these women. I mean,
true.
Yeah, kind of right.
Yeah, it's obviously true.
Like as you grow up, I think everyone has this, where you look at getting intoxicated in a club and you think, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
Sincerely. This clip's a bit weird because it's overwhelmingly women going to this club.
Yeah.
Most of the comments are just men being like, where is this?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, that would be the question, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But why is it all women going to this club?
But why do you go in general like that?
Yeah, but no. You go out to meet a member of the opposite sex. So why is it a club just with nothing but women?
I don't know. The hottest man alive is in there with a lot of money.
I guess so, yeah.
But I think there is a different experience for men and women when you're in your 20s going out like this, which is for men, I mean, you're kind of hoping to find a woman or, I don't know, have fun with your mates. Whereas for women, there's an actual like intoxication of attention that can take place. You sit at a bar as a man, no one is approaching you.
No, but this is the kind of pre-internet OnlyFans.
Is this what you and your lads used to complain about? Before you complained about OnlyFans girls,
I didn't complain about it, but it's definitely, you are right. It's about getting lots of attention from lots of men.
Yeah, I think the attention thing is really underrepresented as the female interaction with the internet.
Yeah,
I saw some clip.
Well, go on. Sorry.
She made an interesting point, which is like men can replace women with pornography in the modern world because that's the primary like physical need they get.
Yeah.
Whereas the primary physical need women get is attention, and you can get that from social media. She was saying,
yeah,
she was like, I can get so many guys talking to me and liking my stuff just from making posts.
Yeah,
and it's so intoxicating.
Yeah,
and I can replace a partner with that. And it's like, ugh.
This is why everyone's infuriated at the Twitch thoughts.
Yeah, I think this is really where all that like, quote unquote woman hating comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And like there was a post on 4chan where it's like, gaming's for nerds, and it's like, ha, actually, maybe this is where men are, so we can get male attention, and then it ends with like literally
women with their tits out.
Yeah, naked women on Twitch, and then them going, "Don't the straight men not even like women?" It's like,
I like gaming.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm there. Like, but attention is definitely a currency.
You're so right about that post as well, though. Like, whoever wrote that is a genius.
So totally true. It's totally true.
Because it really is. You have your own space, whatever, and then women want to become in that male space.
And an easy
by
way
the
for a
time they're
woman
done with it
to get lots of attention is to disrobe. It's like, okay, I really just want to play games.
But the dude lists all of it as well. It's just like, what is it? Cosplaying.
Yeah.
What's the end state of the women's involvement in cosplaying? Being a whore. Then you got gaming, and he just goes through all of them. It's like the people you end up with the most followers at the end of this are not people who seem to be sincerely interested in the subject.
No, the people like Hassan Piker.
Yeah. Big shame. Slags come in male forms too.
Yeah.
It's very sad. But anyway, I think, some truth in that. But the other story out of all this was the Global South.
Oh, yeah.
Doing its thing.
How does the Global South do with Slags?
Well, they were all watching. And GB News published a headline being like, drunk, scantily clad girls on social media.
People smugglers showing drunken, scantily clad British girls in social media video posts. Oh, that's good news.
Because the people smuggler TikTok obviously found Chinaman's TikTok. We haven't really solved as for why Chinaman does what he does.
No.
Presumably there's money?
I assume that there's money. Do you make money on TikTok? I have no idea.
I don't think you make much. Like, you have to get a ridiculous amount of traction to make
I can
good
imagine.
money. Don't really bother. I really, really don't like shorts on TikTok.
I don't like shorts generally, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just find it a waste of time.
There's a little on YouTube, you can hit the X and it'll disappear for 2 weeks.
Right, okay. I didn't know that.
You're on desktop.
Yeah.
So literally every time I go on desktop, I say, get rid of it.
Right.
I can tell it's bad. Anyway, but so the people smugglers found those from Chinaman's posts and then just reposted them.
Mhm.
And underneath their posts, oh, that sounds weird. You can see the global south. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
We have a guy here saying watching from Zimbabwe, watching from the west of Africa, in the Gambia. A guy tagging all his friends. Watching from Sierra Leone, watching from Uganda. Someone else watching from Pakistan, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, the Benin Republic. All right.
Benin.
We use the official title when we perv on women.
Yeah.
I am from the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, right here. I just love the idea that you take that kind of pride. Anyway, watching from Ghana, Sudan, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Remember I told you that there's this perception that white girls are basically just whores in the Middle East?
I mean, they're not doing anything to dispel that perception, are they?
I really think civilization is something we should probably talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. I think I'm allowed to tell this one.
Oh.
So there's a mutual friend of ours, and he used to do various kinds of work. And one of it was that there was this NGO who was doing work in the Middle East. And so they sent this woman to go do this job. And of course, she was a single woman, so they rented her an apartment, and so she could do a job. She had Arab men turning up to the door every single day, knocking on the door, demanding sex. And when she was like, "What are you talking about?" They just thought she was a prostitute because they'd seen her coming and going from the apartment, but no husband.
So, well, there we go. That's a
So
prostitute.
our mutual friend was bussed in. He literally got paid to move into that flat and literally did nothing.
Just sit there and look like you're with her.
Yeah, he just had to be seen going in and out of the flat, and suddenly the Arab men disappeared. That was the cushiest job in the world.
Hey, yeah, I mean, hey, that's a great job, but like, that's how the rest of the world perceives you, ladies.
Yeah, particularly white women. It's particularly rough in that regard.
That's what they see when they see you going out on town like that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the net effect. That's just the global south doing its thing, and that was something. But the point the author was making with the British Empire stuff was not just some billions must die point. Weirdly enough, it was apparently a discussion about fashion.
Oh yeah,
He is actually a gay man who loves fashion, I presume, because
maybe. Yeah.
the British Empire was a proper country. They had good dresses.
Yep.
Whereas now, look at it. Which I mean, I guess there's him just posting endlessly about it here, and his real complaint was that women aren't dressing properly.
Well, that is a fair complaint.
It's not untrue, is it?
No.
I mean, we just have some pictures here that he's taken, presumably from paintings.
Yeah.
You've got women in various outfits looking better, except that one. I don't know what that is. A mess. But the point being, there we are.
Yeah.
And I think there's some truth to this.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I can say, but I mean, a lot of people start posting this
Mm.
at the same time. As you can see, I mean, this blew up massively.
It's about timescales, right? Like, about 10 o'clock on a Friday night, yeah, you probably do want the woman on the left. But every other moment of your life, you probably want the other.
I don't know. I mean, if you're that's the other thing I kind of hate about the Anglosphere. I think it's definitely true for the UK.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably true for the rest of the Anglosphere, but
Go
that's just bigotry. Have you noticed that you look at women, and it's a lot true for men as well,
Yeah.
but especially women, and they all look like they've shopped at Primark?
I do shop at Primark.
No, but the fact that but I did have breakfast. But I did have breakfast.
like that's why we
But
live that way.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying from Primark.
Good,
you know,
'cause I'm not going to stop.
It's good, cheap slave labor materials. It's
Exactly.
quality
Someone's
stuff.
got to keep the third world employed.
But all of the women's clothing is incredibly boring as a result.
Hmm.
There's this weird aspect to it where, like, it may be a woman who is showing more tits than normal or something, and there's slight variations or whatever. It's really hard to put into words, but definitely you look at a horde of women, especially going out in the town, and I'm just so bored. everything looks the same, even though they're wearing different things. It's just like you all have got something from Primark, and how can I tell?
Yeah.
And it's not to do with your budget.
Yeah.
So you either got even if you're getting it from Shein or something, it's something
Yeah, no,
weird.
there's a fair point actually. There is a kind of homogeneity about it because if you look at like the traditional dress here, like that's actually really pretty, and there's nothing stopping women from dressing and stuff like that. Like men wouldn't be like ha ha ha, men would be like, oh, "You look lovely." What, you know, they wouldn't think about it. It wouldn't come up, right?
There's also a weird amount of uniqueness to it. I don't know how we've become fashion watch as well,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there is something to it. I don't think people are talking out their ass. I think they've actually got something.
What about the homogeneity of slag clothing?
Yeah, slag clothing is boring
Yeah.
in a weird way, and
No,
even
no,
though
no, you are right.
I
I mean,
mean,
that is at least interesting to look at.
yeah, but there's also something tantalizing about it in a strange way, where it's just like woman who dresses traditional clothing. I mean, this isn't new.
No.
Obviously, people have pointed out before, like traditional clothing actually looks hotter quite a lot of the time,
Oh yeah.
and the slag clothing is not actually even hotter.
Well, it's because there's nothing left in the imagination. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what she's like under the dress, whereas I know exactly what every inch of this other woman is like. So where's the excitement?
I mean, after you've looked, I mean, you've sort of
Yeah, okay, seen it.
maybe you're right. Maybe that's the thing. But anyway, that's something that happened, and I'll end it off with something that maybe
There's also something more though as well. Like it's about keeping something back for yourself, right? So the woman who is showing it all off is keeping nothing back for a man who would adopt a privileged position as being her boyfriend. So he actually gets to see her naked. And so this is something special that is something for him alone, which is the implication in the women in traditional clothing. No, actually, every man doesn't have access to see what I look like naked. And therefore, that is more interesting and more special.
I'm not even sure. I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure.
this is one of these segments where I didn't really know where it was going. I'll be honest, but part of me just comes down to looking at more traditional clothing and just thinking that's genuinely more hotter, which
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what to do with. But there we are.
I think the hotness is in the secrecy and in the exclusivity of it.
There's a guy making a point here. Boys want the one on the left, men want the one on the right, and women
Mhm.
want men. So, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, she is right, Tara over here.
yeah.
Various women talking about clothes because
But it's about low time preference. Like, you're gonna attract lots of men who aren't very high quality.
oh, you look like every other girl.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
it's not yeah, but that's the thing. You could be any girl to them because all they want is to just have sex with you. And so, okay, well then, if that's what if it's just about raw attention,
Yeah.
then you're gonna get lots of attention, but you're not gonna find anything of any quality or substance.
Anyway, some funny memes for
Yeah.
the other side there, but we'll leave that there. To make my point, I think it's generally more hotter as well. I have something weird to show you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Weirder than this.
that's not new. Anyway, you ever seen this?
No.
It's a really crappy German song from ages ago, like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
It's an old meme
Yeah.
in which a bunch of German girls sing like a playful song about like there's a chicken on the radio
Right.
that goes quack quack, and then there's a pig and it goes oink oink.
Yeah.
Very very highbrow stuff. Anyway, point being, this had an unbelievable amount of attention played to it, and it is nothing to do with the song. Obviously, it's to
Yes.
do with the women and the fact that they're wearing hot clothing, and the
Yeah.
hot clothing is traditional. Which
There's an implicit promise in all of it as well. That is this is we're hiding something, and therefore the something that we're hiding is very interesting.
But anyway, people can let us know. There is one thing wrong about this dress, just in case you're wondering, which is, of course, the traditional clothing is less revealing
Yes.
than the modern traditional clothing that's sold as costumes.
Yeah.
There we are. Slags. Leave them alone. I think
Just
because
ignore them.
what can you do?
Yeah, just ignore them.
It's just
Make it something that doesn't give them attention, and they'll change. Because if the currency is attention and they ain't getting any, they'll be like, okay, well, what do I need to do? Oh, look, she's getting all the attention, and she's wearing a lederhosen or whatever it is. So, okay, well, then there we go. There's the new fashion.
I love the idea you could get like all the millionaire men of the world and be like, all right, unionize, boys.
Yeah.
No more going out with women unless they're wearing lederhosen.
Yeah, Andrew Tate needs to up his game.
There we are. If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go over to lotuseaters.com and check out the merch store. As you can see here, you could buy England Expects That Every Man Will Do His Duty sweaters. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.